to take a look at the effect that technology is going, technological change is going to have on society, we have to talk more about the system in which we live in, and that is capitalism. Capitalism dictates basically everything about our lives. So we have to start there. Like when we're breaking things down and trying to get to the root of things, we just have to do it. And so what is, capitalism? What is it? And how, in a sense that is related to what we're talking about? Well, it is the accumulation of capital. It's in the name. If you control capital, you control the means of production. You control profits, and by control, that might mean you're an investor in a mutual fund. That might mean you're the boss. That might mean many different things. But if you are the one that has control over that capital and where that capital gets allocated, whether that capital is money or labor, people that work for you, or whatever it happens to be, if you are in control of that capital, what is your goal in a capitalist society? How do you, what are you incentivized to do? Well, I'll give you an example. I look at the advancement as people might say, of AI, right? So I'm like, okay, I'm a programmer. I love programming. I really do. And I look at this and I'm like, okay, so what if I just don't learn how to use AIs? What if I'm like, hey, I love programming as it is. It's great. I enjoy it. Why? I don't feel any particular need to learn this AI, right? Let's say I don't learn this AI, but let's say the AI technology improves programmer productivity by some factor, 1 to 10, whatever the factor is. I guess if it improves it by a factor of 1, that's not really much different. But let's say it has some significant improvement on our productivity as a programmer, and I don't learn this new technology. And a few years down the road, I'm like, oh yeah, I love doing the podcast and all, but I'd love to get a job, writing code for someone. Or more likely, oh, hey, I ran out of money. I need some money. I'm going to go get a job. And so I start applying, and people look at me and they're like, wow, you are like a really slow, ancient programmer. Like, we don't want you. And that's because I didn't learn this new technology. And so I am no longer competitive with other programmers. I mean, I don't know if this is what's going to happen with AI, but it could, right? If AI makes programmers way more productive and you don't use that new technology, you're kind of getting left behind. You might not be able to get a job as a programmer anymore. So I think you can look at this though and apply it in general to businesses and capital. So running a business, you're seeing AI and you're like maybe you're not Microsoft or Google. You're not the ones creating the AI, but you see it and you're like, oh, okay. If my competitor or a new competitor that, springs up because of the invention of AI uses it and it allows them to do what I'm doing for cheaper, then they can sell their product for cheaper, their service for cheaper, and I will no longer be competitive and I will go out of business. I will no longer exist as a business. This is the reality. This is how capitalism works. So as a business, what you have to do if you want to continue to exist as a business, you either have to stamp out all the competition, make it so nobody can use this new technology. That's an option. If you have a monopoly and you're like, no, I don't feel like adopting this new technology. I'm just going to pass laws that make it illegal for people to, I'm going to lobby people, make it impossible to use this new technology, or I'm going to buy up anyone that tries to use it. I mean, there's a lot of different ways you could go about not using the new technology if you're in control of all the capital. But let's say you're not. Let's say you have a few competitors. You have no other option other than to adopt this new technology. It's just If you don't, your business is going to go out of business. And if you want to remain in business and keep getting a paycheck and keep eating food, what do? You have to play this game. This is the system. This is how the system works. So we can take this now and go back and start analyzing our actual, the current situation with AI. So we have, we have on the one side, we have humans and what us as humans need, what we want, what makes us happy and satisfied and fulfilled, right? And we can all, I think at this point, agree just a technology doesn't long-term make anyone happy. I love programming, right? I absolutely love programming. But like, if it was a vacuum and I was the only person that existed in it, I was the only person that existed in the world, like, and you gave me a computer and you're like, hey, I guess you wouldn't because I'm the only person. Somehow I make a computer, right? And I can program things. If I'm just programming for myself, that's fun for a while, but like, the real joy in building things and making things is the impact it can have on other people. I love to build programs because I love to be like, oh wow, look, this person enjoys using my program. They get some sort of benefit from it, right? That's sort of on a micro level. That's why I love it. It's the connection to other humans. But you take away that connection and the technology, it might be interesting for a little bit because it's fun to learn new things, right? But I mean, I don't like, if it's just me in a computer on an island or whatever for 30 years, like I'm not going to just program every day for myself. That's just not, I don't think anybody would. So I think we can agree that technology by itself is not what makes life worth living for humans. It's just not. It is not that important. And then we can look at the capitalist system side of things. So the whole drive in capitalism is to accumulate capital and monopolize industries because that's the way you accumulate the most capital, the most profit. Now let's take a look at the AI lever. The AI technology, maybe this, allows your business to do more with less capital. Maybe it's a huge lever that allows your business to do way more with less capital. And you have then companies like Microsoft, OpenAI, Google, whoever is making these AIs, right? They're looking at this and they're going, wow, if we control this technology, if we monopolize this technology, or even just get a large slice of it, we are going to be fabulously wealthy. And is there any other, there's nothing else in capitalism that's like, okay, yes, that's true, but you need to be careful because if you do something harmful to humans, or you don't make humans' lives better, or you exploit people, or you exploit the planet, or you pollute the planet, or whatever it might be, if there are side effects to this new technology, you're going to pay the consequences. That's not how it works. Like Google, if they're creating a new AI, the way that it works is if they succeed and people love using their product or at least feel like they have to use their product. Maybe they don't love using it, but they're like, I have to use it to remain competitive, and they pay Google money and Google makes money from it. Google doesn't care what the side effects are. If there are major side effects, oh no, a bank collapses. What's going to happen? The government's going to bail them out. Oh, we're destroying the planet because we use so much energy and it causes climate change. Oh wait, Google's not responsible, or the oil companies aren't responsible for all the nasty side effects they've caused. No. Us as individuals and, as the government, we're the ones that end up holding that bill, right? So just the nature of the systems we are in what does it do? It encourages the people with capital, the businesses or people that want capital, startups, to focus solely on capturing market share without worrying about the side effects. Like, all that matters is capturing market share. You look at a great example would be OpenAI lets us use ChatGPT for free, even though they've said it, it's very expensive to create their models and all the research they did and run all the software, the services. They let us use it for free. Why? So they can capture market share. That's maybe so they can also do more research or whatever, do research on us. We're the guinea pigs, right? There's other things too, but their ultimate goal is capture the market share. They want to be the one that provides AI to everyone. And yes, there might be people there that are like, oh, we need to do this ethically or whatever. But when push comes to shove, that is not as important as being the first to market, capturing that market, capturing that capital, being the monopoly over AI. That is the driving underlying force. There's no driving underlying force that's like, okay, how do we use this technology to actually make human life better? That's just not a part of this system. So